welcome back to another CEO in the Lobster. Unfortunately, Janine cannot join us this week, but we've got the equally beautiful Byron, one of our South African EC customer reps that some of you might have spoken to. Byron, do you want to maybe give a bit of intro of yourself and how you fit into the picture?
Yeah, sure. So I work in customer support at Easy Crypto, mainly focus on South Africa, but I do a bit of a night shift for New Zealand as well. So if you send in any tickets overnight, you may hear back from me.
Yeah, and Byron's one of our superstars that's been with EC since the really early days. Really knowledgeable dude. And today I'm actually going to be asking him about something he knows far more than me about, which is Bitcoin Lightning Network. For those who don't know what Bitcoin Lightning is, what is it? Is it just like an altcoin? Is it like Bitcoin Cash? What is Bitcoin Lightning?
Yeah, so the Lightning Network is a scaling solution for Bitcoin. It's a layer two network. The way I like to explain it is Bitcoin's very decentralized and secure, but it doesn't scale too well. If you've sent a Bitcoin transaction, you can see it can take a while to go through, and the transaction fees can be relatively high. So Lightning aims to fix this by enabling cheap and near instant payments on Bitcoin. It uses the same native token as Bitcoin, so one Satoshi on Lightning is equal to one Satoshi on chain Bitcoin.
Well, so wait, how does that work? Like, if it's like a scaling solution, but it uses the same tokens, like how does Lightning actually make Bitcoin scale?
Yeah, so Lightning uses something called payment channels. So to open a payment channel, if you and I wanted to open one, we would create a multi-sig address, which is a Bitcoin address that has two keys. So we would both hold the private key. We would then deposit on-chain Bitcoin into that multi-sig address, and that would create a payment channel between you and I. So in essence, Lightning is just a bunch of multi-sig addresses that exist on Bitcoin. And then once the Bitcoin is locked up in these multi-sig addresses, we can do off-chain payments in these payment channels. So I can send sats to you in the channel, you can send sats to me in the channel, and none of those transactions have to be recorded on the actual blockchain. Uh, it's more that the Lightning Network just updates the balance that we have in the channel, and then when we're ready to close that channel, we'll then submit that to the Bitcoin network, which will distribute the funds to you and I, depending on what the final balance was in the payment channel.
What's kind of the benefit for doing these off Bitcoin transactions versus just doing a normal transaction where I send you some Bitcoin or you send me some back?
Yeah, so the Bitcoin network is very limited in terms of block space. That was a design to try to keep it decentralized and overall allow as many nodes on the network as possible. So in times of high demand, the transaction fees can be really high. We saw this earlier in the year when ordinals really took off, and I think the transaction fees were between like $30 and $50. So for the average person who's just trying to use Bitcoin for normal day-to-day transactions, it's not too usable in some situations. So yeah, that's the benefit of using Lightning is that I can send a transaction over Lightning at
Awesome,
any time of
awesome.
the day for near instant processing times and very low transaction fees.
Yeah, so for those who haven't seen it, we did a CEO on the Lobster on ordinals and all the crazy stuff that was happening with Bitcoin earlier this year. Would recommend checking it out. So has that kind of event helped create a bit more traction with this, or has its growth been more organic? And yeah, where were we kind of seeing this used?
Yeah, I think the ordinal hype really did push Lightning as well. I think a lot of things in Bitcoin they don't really take off until we have a real use case for them. In the past, we haven't really needed Lightning because on-chain fees were relatively low, but now we're seeing an environment where they are kind of steady on the higher side. So yeah, since the ordinal hype, we've seen many exchanges integrate Lightning, like Binance. I know Kraken's had it, Bitfinex. So, and I think we're only going to see more at it. So yeah, I think the whole
Yeah,
ordinal
yeah,
hype
well,
has pushed it.
awesome, awesome. And where are the kind of, you mentioned Binance, you mentioned Kraken. Are there any specific areas where it's more popular than others? I know we don't really talk about it much in New Zealand, but are there areas that it's like probably a bit more mainstream?
Yeah, so for example, in South Africa, we have a few communities which run entirely on Lightning. There's a few Lightning circular economies here. The biggest one is Bitcoin Ikasi, which is in Mossel Bay. So they run a surf school down there, so all the surf instructors get paid in Bitcoin, and then you can go into any of these shops there and pay in Bitcoin or get a haircut with Bitcoin.
Dope, dope. Being a surf instructor gets paid in Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that is the dream. Other than being a Bitcoin instructor that gets paid in a Bitcoin instructor, which that was also a job, a surf instructor that gets paid in Bitcoin. Has there been any like other innovations or revolutions that like Lightning in itself has enabled?
So yeah, we're seeing quite a few at the moment. One of the cool ones is paywalls. So obviously the internet has a few paywalls, but if you want to say buy one article instead of a subscription, it's not possible with a credit card. You can't really pay say 10 cents with a credit card, but with Lightning you can unlock just one specific portion of a paywall or one specific article, for example. The other cool one, which we haven't really
So like
seen yet.
micro payments almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, so I was going to say the one cool one we haven't seen yet, but a lot of people speculate is coming is with the growth of AI, they think we'll see a lot of machine-to-machine payments over Lightning for, very small tasks. If you want to use AI for a few minutes, you could pay for that for a few minutes
Dope,
instead of buying a
dope.
whole subscription.
Yeah, no, micropayment sounds really interesting. I'm sure the video game industry would love to hear more about this. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I guess kind of my final question, kind of the one to round it out is first and foremost, how do I learn more about Lightning? And second of all, how do I actually get started? How do I get involved? What do I need to do?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about Lightning, there is I think it's the official Lightning site, which is lightning.network. And then I'll also include some more links you can follow down in the description. And then, yeah, if you want to get started, I would recommend the easiest way is to just download a wallet on your phone. I would recommend Phoenix because it's the best non-custodial wallet. And then, yeah, start from there, see how everything works. And then if you decide you want to run your own node, you can do that with there's implementations called C Lightning and I think Lightning LND, sorry.
Dope, dope. And again, if you're wanting to learn more, as previously mentioned, Byron's one of our customer support reps, and I'm unofficially saying this, I'm sure he would love if you reached out just to chat about Lightning because yeah. So yeah, I'd just like to wrap this up. Massive thanks for Byron for jumping on this one. It was kind of a bit of a last minute one, and I just want to say a big thank you for kind of filling in and being a team player. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, want to know anything more about Lightning, don't hesitate to reach out. Do you think Easy Crypto should support Bitcoin Lightning? Let us know. It's something we could do if the community wants us to do it. We'll invest the time if it's important to you guys. And I guess until next week, thanks again for watching and enjoy.